Hello, good evening. My name is Nema Nembris. Welcome to the evening drive. And today I'm so happy, by the way, to have you guys on the evening drive, which is very fantastic and very nice. My day has been good. I don't know about you guys. Are you happy? How is your day? How is your day looking like? And we're here today giving you good knowledge, good information about everything to do with agriculture. And I know it will be very nice. If your day has not been good, here we are. We are here kuchangamsha. We will be here with you for the whole show to make you happy, to make you to give information, good information, and something with quality. Something with quality, something which is solid. Which when you hear about it, you'll be like, okay, today's show was fantastic. So thank you so much for those who are with us. Those who are not yet with us, kindly follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at Our Farmers Media. Thank you so much. So today we're having a guest with us. Karibu sana Peter. Can you kindly introduce yourself?
Asante. My name is Peter Maina Mashira, a beekeeper, and I'm happy to be on this show.
Thank you so much. Karibu sana.
Asante.
So, our viewers, today we are discussing about bees farming. Bees farming. Yes, bees. The bees that we know it's really known for stinging. That is all that I knew about bees. Stinging. I remember there was a day when my brother was going to school. He was still in kindergarten, and all of a sudden, I was in class 8. Now I was called by a teacher. Hey, your brother is has been attacked by bees, which was very bad, by the way. It was very bad, and from that day, me and bees. You see, the people who say that they fear snake, I fear bees. If I hear that bees are passing by here, you won't see me. You won't see me. I don't know. They say that you lie on the ground and something. You won't see me. That thing was very traumatizing to me. Seeing your brother just suffering and you cannot go and help him. Maybe he runs and something. So personally, I'm eager to know more about bees and if they're still the same from that time when I saw them up to date. I'm really eager to know how are these bees being kept and are they profitable? Farmers, are you out there? Maybe you want to do bee farming. This is your show. This is your show, by the way. Personally, this is my show. I'm really eager to know more about how I should keep my bees, how I should keep them healthy, the requirements that I need, and what if I get attacked on the road? What should I do? Because bees sometimes, I don't know if it's only African bees, but these bees, they are worse than snakes. The people who have met bees very well, they are worse than snakes. So even before we go to the topic of today, bees keeping, guys, the last show that I was with you guys, I was discussing with you about weather as my trend, which was very frustrating. All of a sudden, yesterday, I saw many people being happy about the weather. First, people are Kiambu. People from Kiambu are like, "Hey, we are seeing rain. It's been long before we saw rain." Okay, where I'm coming from, I've not yet seen rain, but don't na vumbi. But again, I'm happy for those people who maybe the weather is favoring them in a way because again, yesterday I saw it was a bit cloudy, a bit windy, which is better. Which at least I can have a smile. At least yesterday, for so long, I've been having sunburns all through. But yesterday even I felt good walking around because I was like, okay, the weather is a bit fair. I'm not the sun is not too much. You get. How about you, Peter? Is the weather maybe
The weather is
affecting
still
you in any way?
the weather is still too harsh,
Uh-huh.
and this is now where we should be very serious about conserving our
Environment, yeah, I know.
because now we look at the seasons; they are all changed.
Yeah, sure.
When we was expecting rains, they're not rains.
Yeah, huh?
It's still too
It's
dusty.
still too dry.
This season, very few people get harvest,
Exactly.
whether maize, beans, no harvest. So it's a wake up call.
It's a wake up call.
Yeah.
Of which this is a wake up call when you see rain, kindly go plant something.
Exactly.
Something like
Plant
a tree.
trees.
Yeah.
Plant
And for
trees.
those who cut trees, guy, first you see, I saw just some people because it's too dry and the trees are drying, so they go and cut them so that they can get firewood. But I think there is always a second chance for everything. You give that tree a second chance. Maybe it rains and again it wakes up.
It's a big challenge because you look at it. If I'm going to plant this tree, I need water.
Yeah.
When we mess with our environment,
Okay.
there are no rains. There is no water.
Sure.
We don't have enough technology for harvesting our rainy waters. So even for that farmer who is cutting that tree, it becomes it's the only hope he has for feeding on that day.
Yeah.
So at times we have to balance. But if we take care of the environment, next season they won't have to cut down the trees.
Yeah. But again, it's not only trees that are affecting the environment. We get to understand that a lot of industries are coming out here, polluting the air. Like, okay, I'm having my trees, maybe on my compound and all that. How about the pollution? You get? And these people who are polluting the air, they cannot be told. You get? They cannot be. There is no any way that you can maybe impact something in their minds, and they're like, okay, let's stop this, because they're like, okay, this is what is bringing money to me.
There is an approach, and I know there are people who are doing carbon credit.
Okay.
You go to a factory, tell them, okay, this is your carbon credit. Can you assist us maybe with funds or maybe an initiative where now we go to the community, plant a tree. Planting tree is one thing.
Okay.
Taking care of that tree
is another thing.
It's another thing. Every day you see people planting trees, but who comes back?
Who takes care of it?
To come and take care of those trees.
Sure, by the
so
way,
those are the guys maybe should be in the front line to encourage other people to come in and plant more trees, because the trees will hold the carbon for us as it cleans the environment. So it's a big chain. It's a big chain.
Which people should really consider when it comes to that. It's very, very sad that at the same time.
And again, it's not only for farmers only, because when we have droughts, it affects everyone, whether in the office, whether in the shamba,
you will be affected because this food that was being produced, you are the one who used to consume it. You get, as the person who is in the office. But right now, drought is hitting everywhere, so now you are not getting it. You get, so it's hard for everyone, no matter where you are. So it's affecting everyone all over. Are you being affected by the weather? Because here we're complaining. The dust is all over. Sun is not. It's shining to its best. You get, like, the sun is shining to its best. Like, Aiturumi, it's too bad. Yeah, it's too bad. Which I don't know. I think maybe prayers worked, because I'm seeing some rain and the weather is a bit changing, because people are saying maybe during March there will be some rains. So we hope so, and we believe that it will happen. I miss seeing green grass. I mean,
prayers with action.
Yeah, prayers in action again. Yeah, prayers in action. So anybody who is praying for the weather, what are you doing? What are the actions that you're putting in your calendar every day to make sure that at least I'm praying, and at the same time I'm doing something that maybe in the future it will bring rain. You get, so do something. Not only you should pray, but again do something to make sure that the weather is taken care of. And the people who are polluting the environment, kindly, can you be fair? Can you at least think about, how about the farmers? Not only the farmers, how about the food that I always go and buy? You understand? Let us not think just of the food that is in the greenhouses and all that, because it has its own environment. But at least even the people who are farming outside, can we consider it? You get? Yeah, which is very important. So again, another trend of the day is about Kenya to host food safety conference next month. Very important. Food safety is very important. What are you eating? Has it been tested? How was it planted? Where was it planted? A lot of food, by the way, a lot of skumas, spinach, and the greens. Have you heard of that? That a lot of those vegetables they're being planted in sewages.
Sewer lines, yes.
Yeah, sewer lines. Do you know that is not good at all? At all. you get vegetables which are very green, looking very healthy, but indeed they are totally not healthy.
They're bitter.
Yeah, 0% of healthiness there. By the way, you're taking poison. In short, how can you take vegetables which are from sewer line? Okay, sometimes we take them unknowingly, by the way,
Yeah, in most cases.
because you cannot go to the market and then you start testing vegetables and tomatoes and all that. But again, the people who are selling it, can you just consider something? That's why the conference is here with us for food safety. Let's attend from 20th to 30th March, which will be very interesting and fantastic. So now let's go to the topic of today: beef farming. I'm eager to know this. I'm eager to get the information from you, Peter, which I understand that you've done beekeeping for a while. Can you at least give us a brief experience of your journey in beekeeping?
Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
I started beekeeping back in 2014.
Okay, too long.
No,
It's far.
there are people who have about 25, 30 years
Okay.
in beekeeping.
Uh-huh.
But kila mtu akona
Their own journey.
Yes, their own journey.
Yeah, I get it.
And I started with one hive.
Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Interesting.
From that one hive,
Uh-huh.
you get to learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Before now, you can even start saying
Mm-hmm.
you are a beekeeper.
Yeah, you're having now
Yes.
2 or 3 and all that.
Some of the you go into beekeeping without the knowledge, without knowing what you're going to expect.
Okay.
At least our viewers right now will be happy because they'll know.
Yeah, they will know.
Yes,
Yeah.
if we are going to start such a journey,
Mm-hmm.
where do we start? For me,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that knowledge.
Okay.
It's been a journey
Mm-hmm.
since that time
Mm-hmm.
until now, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I started now full-time
Mm-hmm.
beekeeping.
Okay.
So, naacha job, nasema
Remember,
now,
it's bees
it's
and bees
bees,
only.
morning to evening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a journey,
Mm-hmm.
but an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
It's also on a daily basis you get to learn new
Mhm.
things from the bees.
Mhm.
In most cases, because we're learning from the bees.
Okay.
Those are the best teachers you can have.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're going to do something,
Mhm.
you learn from the masters. Our bees, if you want to coexist with them, know their ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What inspired you to do bee farming?
I've always been a farmer.
Okay.
Our background, my mom, my dad, they're all farmers.
Mm-hmm.
I did agriculture in school
Okay.
up to Form 4.
A very good base.
Yes.
For that.
For agriculture.
Uh-huh.
But now, I didn't have a place where
Mhm.
I used to work in a river.
Okay.
I didn't have a shamba here.
Uh-huh.
I can't farm in Sagana
Mhm.
and come to work
Mhm.
in Adriba.
Okay.
So when someone came and introduced beekeeping to me,
Mm-hmm.
I thought, okay, I just require a small space
Mm-hmm.
for my one hive,
Yeah.
and I can manage it. I still go to work.
Okay. Yeah.
So I actually started it where I used to work, my workplace.
You didn't fear maybe
No,
they
no,
had
no,
a big compound?
No. Okay, interesting.
Uh-huh.
Where we used to sleep,
Uh-huh.
we had bees. Zimejenga
Hey, you guys.
kwa
You don't
nyumba
fear
ya
those
mbao.
things.
No, you coexist. You coexist with bees.
Hey, I cannot. Even if I hear they
So,
are saying any corner, I
That
cannot.
was easy for me to
Mhm.
convince my boss
Mhm.
that, okay, if we want to take care of these bees
Mhm.
and remove them from this room,
This room, let me put
the
at least
servant
a
quarters, we can put a hive
hive. Okay.
huko nyuma.
That was very thoughtful.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And then we start the journey.
Mhm.
It didn't happen.
Okay.
Because now, again, as we are saying, the skills are not there.
Uh-huh.
So
Sure.
for me, I thought, okay, what a hive,
It was
I'll
just
put
a
it outside
thought.
there,
Yeah.
and then the bees will come.
Mhm.
It doesn't happen like that.
It doesn't happen like that.
Yeah. So you get to learn as you go. You wait a month, 2 months, 3
Uh-huh.
months. The bees are not coming.
Uh-huh.
Then you go now start reading.
Uh-huh.
What do I need to do for me to get this hive colonized?
Uh-huh.
And that is the question most people I know who are watching us have same questions.
Yeah.
I have beehives, but they are empty.
But they are empty and I
Yes.
don't know how to bring
attract
the bees.
So now you start doing your own research,
Mhm.
and there are those methods that are there used
To bring out the bees.
Yes.
So when okay, I want you to just give us a very, very deep information from your journey first, even before we give our viewers the knowledge. So you've already put your one beehive
Yes.
in the compound where you are working from.
Yes.
Again, you've already put it in your place for working, the working area.
Yeah.
So how did you manage to bring the bees in the hive? What did you
They
read?
didn't come.
Or what training did you go to?
What happened after having that hive for about 6 months?
Okay.
And it was an expensive hive. I decided.
Who bought it? You?
Me.
Okay.
With like a small salary. Yeah.
So the boss accepted you to
Yes.
place it in the compound,
Yes.
and then you buy the hive.
I buy the hive.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay.
It's my hive. It's my interest. Him, he has no worries, and I thank him for that.
Okay.
Always, even when we meet.
Congratulations, sir.
Yes. Once I started now, 6 months down the line, these bees are not coming. You call a technician, he'll charge you.
Yeah.
The amount of money you are being charged, you don't have, because
It's a lot.
You're just relying on your small salary. I started researching. Now you go online and then you realize, there's a different way of doing this business.
Not as I just thought.
Yes, yeah. Not as the way we are doing right now, but there must be a different approach to get bees to your hives. That's been a journey. But I think from there, 5 months, I had about 6 hives.
In the same compound?
Yeah.
Okay, was the compound big?
Yeah, okay, the guy has about 20 acres. It's a hotel.
Okay, it's making
sense. For those who knows me, they know where I'm talking about.
It's making sense now.
Yes.
Because I was thinking maybe it was just a 2 or 3 acres.
It's not an office.
Okay.
It's a hotel or a restaurant, let's say. So, have maybe 5 acres is where the buildings and the guests are.
Okay.
The rest, about 15 acres behind there,
it's just empty. Okay.
It doesn't do farming.
Now it's making sense.
The guests don't rarely go those sites. So it was a very nice spot for me to keep bees. And because there are no disturbance, he would walk. See, 1, 2, 3 hives. 7 hives, 10 hives.
So when you put hives in your farm, you can walk and go and watch them.
There's a distance. No, there's a distance. You know, they are called colonies because ni kama serikali. They are guard bees. And those guard bees have their, we call it rage, where they guard. Just like your dog here.
Okay.
You can't go to Kitengera eating people down there.
It will just guard the property.
Yes. Only, So for your bees, there is like a safe distance that you'll walk past your hive without the bees stinging you.
Okay.
If you understand that, then
you're good to
you'll
go
just
and
go without any protective. But then you don't just go next to your hive and stand there
looking at them.
Yes, one will get curious, and once they start attacking you can't outrun these. Yeah. But a safe distance, about 5 meters, you just walk. At times in the evening, you come clear the bush, and they don't attack.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as you understand the limits.
So after maybe you said now we are in the how many hives?
About 6.
About 6.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you started selling? How long has it taken you? Or
that period was a running period. A lot of experiments for me.
Okay.
Because now you learn now how do you attract bees, how do you put bees into these empty hives, how do you manage them. There are a lot of errors. You kill those bees.
Okay, quick question. Yeah. Maybe which many people or many employers would wonder, is this person concentrating with the work that I'm giving him, or he's concentrating on his own business? Because now this is a business, you're starting in another person's business.
That's a good question. If you have a passion for something, you'll find time.
Okay.
For me, since morning to maybe lunch hour, I'm working. When my colleagues were going for lunch, I would wear my bee suit.
And go
that 1 hour. We were given 1 hour for lunch. I would go with my bee suit, check my bees, finish. 2 p.m. I'm back to the office, or maybe where I've been sent.
Okay.
In the evening, 6. Instead of going home, I go to check my bees.
Before you go home.
Yes, and people thought I'm mad. People thought,
okay,
this
that's
guy,
interesting. Yeah, it feels like you're mad. Totally.
They're seated there having lunch. talking and having stories.
In a big hotel.
Yeah.
You should have your
For
seats.
me, I take my biscuit,
You
go
go-
behind the street, the hotel, and having my inspections.
Okay.
So I got that chance of experimenting,
Uh-huh.
and maybe from my background, I'm an IT technician.
Uh-huh. What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Mine is IT. So from that,
From IT to bee farming.
yes.
Okay.
From
Okay.
that background, I'm so much interested in anything practical
Okay.
and doing your own stuff and researching. So that guided me to get to know what to do with these bees,
With these
these
bees
empty
and-
hives.
okay, yeah.
You read, you go implement. It fails, you don't lose hope.
Did you
try
get
again.
discouragements
Many.
from your workmates, from the boss, from the visitors who are coming?
From the boss, no.
Uh-huh.
From the visitors, no.
Uh-huh.
But from your colleagues,
A lot.
a lot, because they are looking at, you're not selling honey, one. So you're
So
just
this is
spending
like
money.
monkey business.
Yes,
You're just spending your money and
but
you're
there's
not
no
getting
income.
any benefit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for me, I knew the goal. So beekeeping, I tell people, any kind of farming, if you go there calculating the amount of money you make after the harvest, you started on wrong foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the right foot
The right
to start
foot.
with? Uh-huh.
Have the patience.
Okay.
Because you don't plant your seed today and tomorrow, harvest.
You harvest. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
That applies across all the activities of farming, be it beekeeping, chicken farming, cows,
All of it.
all of it.
Yeah.
You need that patience, perseverance. One, like now we're talking about weather, there are no rains. The farmer will tomorrow plant.
Sure.
So you take the same lessons. Me as a farmer, my bees have not succeeded this season. Do I just throw away my equipment and
and
start
just leave
planting
it and that's it?
sumerics?
Yeah, I get it.
No. You go to persevere and try again. Maybe last season you made a mistake.
Yeah.
Can you correct that mistake?
What mistake did I make
Yes.
and how can I correct it?
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
So that is how I started.
Okay, we are still on the journey,
Yeah.
which I want, I want that first platform of your life with bees, and then now we can now educate someone because when you just give us the knowledge on beekeeping, I'll be like, okay, should I try it or should I not? But putting in mind someone with IT certificates, you just quit everything and do beekeeping. That's something amazing. You get. So we are in 6 hives.
Yeah.
In 20 acres of land. Have you started harvesting? What is your plan now?
Now the motivation comes in when now you get the skills.
Okay.
And you start seeing now from 1 hive, 6 hives, you can be able to increase your numbers. You are still getting skills. And then the drive behind all this is your passion. Because
okay, yeah,
now,
sure. Yeah.
if I'm planting sukumas, I need that passion. Even if they dry up, tomorrow I'm planting again.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
So that passion kept me going. You lose your bees, you start afresh. You see them grow. Because by now, you know how to raise them. Because beekeeping is not just buying a hive. That is the wrong notion people have. You don't buy a hive and become a beekeeper.
Because a lot of people I see, they just make the hive or they buy the hive and then they hang it on a tree and that's it. They wait until it has honey. I don't know how they know it has honey and then they just go and harvest. So
It's
that is not the way.
It's the notion we were sold for those who did agriculture.
Yeah.
Beekeeping, they were telling us, for me, what I remember from my agriculture teacher, it requires a lot of less of your attention.
Okay.
As compared to other farming activity. To some extent, yeah, it is true.
And a lot of farmers have that notion
exactly.
up to date.
That
bee farming is
less work. So it's easy. So for me, what you do, you say, okay, beekeeping, you have to have bees for you not to become a beekeeper. You have to have your equipment. You have to have the skills.
Yeah.
So with my journey now, those are the things I was gaining.
You're gaining.
then you get the confidence of maybe doing your harvest. I remember my first harvest. That honey I took to the kitchen, our restaurant kitchen.
That is what you guys use.
When the guest comes, so you buy tea. It's a hotel, so you buy tea, you buy coffee. You say you want dawa.
You want
dawa has honey.
Honey, yeah.
Yes. So I went and sold it to my boss. He said, "No, you're not giving me. You are selling it to me." And I sold it to him. Then that idea came. Okay, now I can be selling this honey to his clients.
Okay.
So every time the guest comes, I have my honey there in the restaurant displayed. It was a good idea because now you tell them we are keeping our honey comes just from
the farm.
From the farm,
yeah. It's very interesting.
A nice selling point.
Exactly.
But again, there are those challenges here and there. One, you're sent elsewhere, and these bees need attention.
Need attention. So nobody will look
at them. No one will go near those bees.
First of all,
everyone knows Nyuki is a minor.
Nyuki is a nani.
Nyuki is a minor. Yeah. A guest gets stung. Okay, no guest who was stung, but workers, because again, those bees were. There are some bees that were next to the sleeping quarters. They cannot differentiate between those bees and the ones in the hive. Them they know. Ile nyuki menidunga ni ya maina. So
and he has to be responsible for
such
it.
Challenges made me now think of now this thing has to move from this point to a different point. You look at the security or the safety of your guests. I don't want a call from the boss telling me now the guests have been attacked by your bees.
What?
Yeah. So I decided, even if this business...
What were they doing? They went
I'm saying I didn't want to get such a call.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So I decided before we get to that point, I need to move these bees. So that is now how I stopped keeping them in my workplace and move them home in Sagana.
How did you move them?
In a pickup.
Wait a minute. You
move bees.
How do you move bees?
You move bees.
Not the hives, but the bees.
Hive is just the housing.
Okay. So you took
the
that hives.
I take that hive
with the bees
and then you pickup and transport from one location
to another.
Those are the skills we're talking about.
Okay.
One, we need to maybe advocate and educate people that bees are not that dangerous, let me say. Yeah.
You should
there is a phobia. There is a phobia people have.
A very bad one. Yeah. Personally, I didn't think that you can transport bees. First, when I just hear the word bees, I'm like, what?
There is that phobia.
There is something
Even if you see a bee foraging on your flowers, don't go near that bee. That bee has no business. First of all, stinging you.
Some of the means is that when you come near the bee, it will attack you. Another one, when you make noise, or when you provoke it, it will attack you and all that. So I'm wondering, how did you manage to pick the bees from Athi River to Sagana?
What happens once you get the skills and you understand now how do you work with bees? You find that when you're transporting bees, one, it has to be a very safe method of transporting bees.
Okay.
There are crude methods, and I won't mention, that people use. But if your beehive is well made, it has only one entrance. That I can lock that entrance and maintain my bees. Okay, wait.
As long as you've locked the entrance, no bee can come out and no bee can come in.
Yeah, if your beehive is well made. There are beehives that has a lot of entrances. So that one has a different method of moving. But we say, whether you've locked the entrance or not, you're not 100% sure that this beehive is bee-tight.
Yeah.
So we put a layer of shade net. That is the most common one that we use. A shade net is the same shade net you use for a greenhouse.
Okay.
The insects cannot go through, but they can breathe. Because most of the people who transport bees, they kill them by suffocating.
Yeah, they can't breathe.
They can't breathe. The beehive is too hot. It's in your car 3-4 hours. By the time you're getting there, the heat
itself
has suffocated the bees. So you open your hive, all the dead bees are there. If you put a shell net, cover it nicely. Don't be in a hurry. You have 2 or 3 hives you're transporting, cover them nicely. So you need a big net. Cover them nicely. Put a strap on. Then put them in your hive, in your pickup
or
maybe
in your car. Okay. Right now, we're transporting the bees from the river to Sagana.
Yeah.
Do you have anyone who is helping you with the knowledge about bee farming, or you're still online?
Mine is online.
Okay.
I've never gone into a class.
Then you're smart.
Thank you.
Then you're smart.
I've never gone to a class, and I get that question asked a lot.
Yeah.
Where did you learn beekeeping? I tell people,
because a lot of people think that as long as I'm having someone on board who is teaching me is when I can do it. You get? People have the notion that I cannot do it by online knowledge. But here you are, you're telling me that you're in the stage of transporting the bees and you're just having online knowledge only. This is amazing.
And that is why I'm saying that is where now my IT comes from. Right now, if you put me in a room and cut off internet, not calls, internet
only,
I'm done. I'm done.
You cannot survive without internet.
No. But give me a room, internet, take all my phones,
everything else.
Laptop there.
Yeah, and internet.
I'll stay.
You will survive and you will be successful.
Yes. So that is now how I'm able to get that skill from someone else who has done it and implement. Because listening to such a show is one thing.
Exactly.
Going to implement what we are talking about here is something else. So what makes the difference? The difference comes in for that person who is willing to work on try. It. Yeah. For me, it was a lot of trial and error. Until now, you have the confidence. Before I transport the bees, I had the confidence of even lifting that hive from one position to another.
I know. Yeah? And you are alone.
When I was starting, I remember. Some will laugh. When I was starting, there's a time I called a friend.
Okay.
They came to help me inspecting. So it's at night. The time the bees came up, I ran away. I left. I left.
You didn't expect that?
No. For me, I had that notion now. We are dead.
Yeah, the attack is here.
Yes, and I have a bee suit.
But again, you're saying as if you don't have it.
I don't have it. So, this phobia is not something you'll
escape just immediately
in a day.
It's something that you get used to.
It takes time. And something else, the more you get used to working bees, the more you understand them.
Okay.
Because they are, if we are talking about inspections, there are methods of inspecting that will make your bees so aggressive.
Sure.
And there are others, even the bee won't be bothered on what you're doing.
Exactly.
It's a skill you run. It's like riding a bicycle. It's a skill that you run.
One day at a step. Yeah.
So by the time I'm moving them, I had that confidence. Even if a cop stops me,
you are confident that you can deal with them.
I'm telling you, I'm carrying bees. I'm a farmer.
I'm transporting them. Okay.
You check my boxes. Do you see any bee outside? No. Okay. Can I go?
So they are safe?
Yeah, they are safe. Because again, beekeeping, the phobia makes people not go into it.
Yes,
so if we advocate for safety in whatever we are doing, the way you are inspecting your bees, the way you are keeping, are they safe from the neighbors, safe from your animals? Because those stories you hear, bees have attacked. Those are the same reasons as to why people are not taking beekeeping.
Yeah.
But if we
because of the phobia.
If we advocate for safety, do the right methods, then many people will get into it.
Yeah, sure.
For me, I tell people, if I had my own house, my hive would be just outside my entrance.
Well,
yes,
you're very courageous.
The bees are that calm.
Okay.
They are that calm. They have no business attacking you. And I'm not saying you go play with their bees. No, don't get me wrong.
We should not play with them.
Don't play with them, but understand them. You coexist. I've seen people living with bees for 20, 30 years in their house.
In their house?
Yes.
Wait a minute. So it's not a matter of having a big piece of land.
No, I'm saying not a hive inside the house,
Okay.
but the bees have built a nest inside your home, somewhere now you cannot access, maybe the ceiling,
Yeah,
or
in
in between your walls, and you coexist. You have no business removing them.
Yeah,
You
even then
coexist.
they don't have any business with
Yes,
you.
you coexist. But now, when you come to disturbing your bees, then that becomes a security threat to you and to your neighbors. So there must be a system. Even if you're going to keep bees, safety comes first. For me, I tell a person, you cannot buy a hive and not buy a bee suit.
Okay.
Because now, in 3-4 months, that hive has bees.
You will need the bee
Yes.
suit.
Okay, a cow can pass by, get attacked. Will you save it? No, because yes, safety comes first. I cannot see you drowning,
And I don't know how to say.
and I can't
Help you.
help you, and I don't know how to swim.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all of you will die, definitely.
The same thing. If you have no bee suit and your neighbor is being attacked, you can't help him.
Yeah.
And if you attempt, you are both going to be attacked.
Exactly.
So safety is a must when you are working with bees. Ours are aggressive bees, but it doesn't mean people should shy off from keeping bees. Yeah.
Okay. So now, with your experience, that's very magical. By the way, that's amazing. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's courage. Courage by itself. You know, you're having a lot of courage when it comes to beekeeping. So let's not even finish the story. We will still finish it. But let's talk about the factors to consider when you're doing beekeeping.
Yeah.
And before even we start deep into it, we have farmers who are doing commercial, and the farmers who are doing it as home consumption. You know, just something as you started, when you started where you are, you just used it as consumption. You get, you took the honey and just used it in the hotel. So what is the difference between the two, and where does the line comes when it comes to home consumption and the
Commercial.
the commercial part of it?
When it comes to beekeeping, a commercial, or let me start with the home consumption. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you just have one beehive for your honey, because in most cases, the one who is starting beekeeping, maybe they just want honey. You're tired of buying honey from the market.
Yeah.
You go take yourself a hive, put it into your garden. What people forget is, as a farmer, most of them need bees for their pollination for the crops. When the bees are pollinating your crops, they are making honey for someone else.
Okay, so we should not see as bees. We should not look at bees as nini attackers and a threat.
They have no
They
business
also help.
stealing. They help a lot. If the bees were extinct, we have about 5 or 6 years. Na sisi tukose chakula. Because they are the main pollinators.
Help. Yeah, that right now is when you mentioned it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, it helps a lot. Yeah.
Plant a watermelon and don't pollinate it. It won't be sweet.
It won't be sweet. It won't even produce well.
Strawberries, the same case. Maize,
the same, exactly.
So all these plants, mangoes, I've seen mangoes, coffee, and a huge difference. Like in my farm, okay, it's my dad's farm. A big difference in our avocado production. Before
you brought the bees, and after.
Yeah, there were bees within that were coming to pollinate.
But right now they are there. Yeah.
Until the guys, there's a company that buys his avocados. They came and asked him, "What have you
done different?"
Yes.
And is it fertilizer or is
no? Yes, and you're not supposed to be. His is organic. So
they thought that maybe you guys are doing something different.
So they pick our mango, the avocados. They go testing them. They cut and extract the oil.
They were that serious,
It's that, for them it's for export.
Yeah, exactly.
So if they tell you no chemicals on this side of the
farm, totally don't want.
They don't want it.
Yeah.
So he told him, okay, it's only my son who has brought bees here, and every morning when the avocados are flowering, you could think there's a hive up there
because of the bees.
Those are the benefits. And if those bees are not yours, they are making honey for someone else.
Exactly.
Okay? So, if you're doing commercial farming, commercial is when now someone wakes up and decide, I'm going to do beekeeping for commercial purposes. I want to sell my products, honey, pollen, wax.
Exactly.
You are into business. So, he maybe start 20, 30 hives. If you're doing farming, it's an added advantage. Because one, your crops
will bring the honey to the hive.
The crops are helping the bees to survive.
Make honey, and to survive too.
Yes, so they complement each other. For
commercial,
that is commercial. Home consumption is just maybe a hive or two. You have no interest in selling a product, but you transit very fast because today you have harvested maybe 5 kgs.
Okay.
You can't consume 5 kgs in maybe 3 months.
Yeah.
By the time the year is over, you have excess honey. You want to expose it. So before you know, people are asking you, can we get
some?
Then you see it's good money. Then you decide, I don't
and
know.
And you know, as you just said your story, from one hive is where you get the third one and the fourth one, and this, because you've taken it, a neighbor comes and they're like, okay, do you have honey? Yes, can you help me? And that is how you start growing. That's a very good idea, by the way.
It's true.
But I want maybe you help a farmer somewhere, because you're talking about when you're having your crops with you, it's good if you put your hive within. So what about the times for drought, or the seasons where it's not time for harvesting or it's not flowering time?
That is when we were talking about the grammatical changes. We've damaged our environment so much.
So does it affect even the bees?
It does.
Really?
Because look at it this way. Where are these bees getting food?
From the crop.
And by the way, let me tell you, honey.
Oh my goodness.
Honey is food for the bees.
This is interesting.
Honey is not for human consumption.
Okay, it's food for the bees.
Yes.
We steal the food for the bees.
Yes. So where do they get their food from?
Yeah.
Pollen. Pollen comes from where? It's like now you taking meat. You need protein and you need starch.
Exactly.
Nectar gives them starch. Pollen give them protein. Where do they get it from? We've come burnt a whole forest where they were getting the flowers, from the weeds, from the vegetation that was there. So any nest that was just within, what happens to it? Those bees will abscond. They will just leave and go for a greener pasture. It happens to, it's a nature way of survival. If there is no food, you move. Same case to bees.
Okay.
If they have no food, they move. So for those who are doing farming, and there are those challenges about climatical changes. You have no nectar like now. It's so dry.
Yeah, it's very dry.
For an inspection, there's a very little nectar coming in. How do you help your bees? This is when now we say we need modern techniques of keeping our bees.
Okay.
Where now one of it is feeding. It's a controversial subject because people say, okay, we want bees to be as natural as they can.
Why are you feeding them?
Why are you feeding them? Good question. But again, 50 years back, we had this area covered by
forest, by vegetation,
so
and all that.
They
it was
had
all green.
All those vegetation to take care of themselves. Right now,
there is
we've destroyed
no vegetation.
Our vegetation.
I get it.
So every place you go, maybe the area they are farming is very small. That the bees getting food from. So if you don't feed your bees, if you don't supplement, we say it's a supplement. If you don't supplement your bees, our bees are known for absconding. And absconding is where now today you have bees in your hive, tomorrow they are gone.
They are gone and
hakuna imebaki.
Okay.
They are gone. Why does it happen? One is lack of food. So we say feed your bees. And how do you feed your bees? If you're doing honey production, we advise.
When you talk about feeding your bees, will we call it still organic way?
It's okay. You know, any organic, you cannot be 100% organic.
Exactly. It's always 1999.
After
99 imeenda
sana.
Yeah.
95.
Exactly.
Because now, hata ukisema mambo natural, the way we talk of natural honey, there are places bees are collecting their nectar from factories.
Exactly.
You don't know the chemicals they're bringing into your hive.
Into your hive, yeah.
Because we are talking of a radius of 5 kilometers. You have no control over that. So when people come and say now you don't feed your bees because we want them natural, you know what they are foraging from.
Yeah.
They have no idea. So we remove our supers and feed our bees. It's just the sugar you buy from the shops. Mix with water and feed your bees. It's a month or two. By the time now the rains are coming and the plants are germinating and flowering, you've already stopped feeding. We said honey is food for the bees. So once you stop feeding, any store they had, they'll consume.
They will start consuming the honey.
Yes.
Okay.
So by the time now they are correcting the natural one, the artificial one, let's call artificial, the one
the honey now is already eaten.
Yes. So they'll give you the natural one. And again, you can just maybe a better way of controlling that. We have supers that we have honey. We harvest honey from. Remove your supers, put them in the house, feed your bees in one box. Once the rains come and the vegetation is coming back again, return your supers. Super. You have 100% sure that any honey that will come from this is from the field.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't just do it kenyeji. No.
We're still on the factors that a farmer should consider when keeping bees. Let's talk about the courage. As you've explained, the courage that you had, and then all of a sudden the bees came with the, when you were with the experts and you ran away. How should a farmer take that as a basic thing to have when you're keeping bees?
One of the mistake I would say I made was starting this journey alone.
Yeah. Is it a mistake?
It is.
Or is it something that you should be proud of?
I'm not. Because maybe I would have spent less than, we're talking about 2014 to now, I'm talking about 6-7 years. Maybe it would have taken maybe 1 year.
1 year, yeah.
Exactly. So for beginners, I advise people, can you have a friend who you are working bees with? Can you have a group? There are groups, farmers group, youth groups, women groups.
You join.
So from the experience, you get to learn. When they're doing their harvest or maybe walking by their apiary, you accompany them. That way, you come to realize, oh, kumbe bees are not as bad as you are told. You start gaining that.
You at least start getting information even from others.
Then you call that person, maybe that friend of yours, can you come and help me with my bees? See how they are doing the stuff. That way you are learning and gaining the confidence. Next time you do it alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you decide to go alone, you will never overcome that. It will take you time before you overcome that fear. Yeah.
Okay, talking of courage, which is very in line with the mindset that a farmer should have when it comes to beekeeping. Because one, a lot of farmers think, but I saw a tweet in this, I saw a Facebook post, someone is saying that, hey, bee farming is the easiest. You just put your beehives and leave it. You get, and then after maybe 9 months or 10 months, you come and harvest. You get. So that is the farmer with that mindset. And another one is like, okay, that's the bee farming is something that I can do and have quick money. I do not have to be stressed and all that. So what mindset do a farmer has to have to do bee farming?
For me, I tell people this. If you come into beekeeping, doing those calculations of one beehive will give me 10 kgs,
10 kgs,
1 kg, 1,000 bob, you've already failed.
Okay.
And this is the reason. You take your beehive today, in the methods that we are using today, it will take you 2 to 3 months for it to be occupied. So, those are 3 months without any money. You already spent some money acquiring that beehive. So you get frustrated.
Okay.
Then once the bees come in, they will take about 6 months before they even finish building, depending on because they build depending on the forage they are
So
getting.
it takes time.
It takes time. They have to build the combs. They have to build the combs that the queen will lay. They store their foods. They have to build.
So, okay, let me just cut you short. We will continue there. Some years back, I used to think that, you see the combs that you're talking about, it's someone creating them or making them, and then they give the bees so that they can have their own house there.
That is bees architecture.
That's how I used to think. And maybe someone else is thinking the same, by the way.
The bees build that.
Yeah, okay.
From their wax. They produce wax. And this is what people need to understand. You've given, let's talk of a Langstroth beehive, the common box hive that we have. It's called a Langstroth hive. It has 10 frames. Those 10 frames have no combs as we speak. It's a new one.
Yeah.
So you need to build. It's like vanishing this office. You have no seats, you have no beds, you have nothing.
Nothing, totally.
It takes a lot of energy for you to do that. It takes the same energy for the bees to build
the
10
comb,
frames. Once they build, as they build, they are consuming. Because it's the food that is coming from the environment.
The mindset of the bees is that we are creating food
a home.
a
home.
And storing food.
A home with a store.
Yeah. Okay.
They have to store the excess food that is coming in.
Yeah.
So they build a nest. Their nest is divided. There is where the queen will lay, where we have the brood, and we have where they keep
the
honey.
Store.
Yes, the honey. And they are that order. They don't mix. Yeah. Unless on very special occasions. But in most cases, they are that strict. This is a brood nest.
They know how they conduct their own home.
There is order. So when they are building, they are getting that, they are eating that nectar that is coming in to produce wax. That wax goes to building those combs.
Okay.
You have 10 frames. You put a super on. You have another 10 frames. Instead of storing the honey that is coming from the field, they are building again. Remember, our seasons are changing. So maybe halfway down the building time, there is no nectar coming in.
Yeah.
So they become dormant. So you are there saying 9 months, then kumbe there is no nectar. You go open. They even haven't finished building. Until they finish building, then there's the time you'll think of.
Until they finish building is when they'll start their now storage of
the storage,
the honey.
What we say, it's very minimal that the store that they're keeping as they build. They take a lot of that nectar to produce wax. By the time they fill, then you can talk of excess, because now the feed that was being fed has nowhere else to be taken. So they store. If they need to take a flight, they eat kidogo, they go. So they're not as it's not being consumed as much as before.
Okay.
So that is now how you get excess honey for your own human consumption. But to the bees, that is their food for a dry season. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that is very meaningful there. That is a very good information. So we've talked about the quick money that people think, and how people have very different mentalities when it comes to bees. Now let's talk about the site where a farmer should think of keeping their hives for the bees, and how should it look like?
Okay, when you're keeping your bees, first things first, you said about safety, because that is the major concern.
Yeah, safety from your neighbors.
Yes, at times I come to your farm and inspect, and I tell you can't keep bees here.
Okay.
Not because you don't have the facility, but because
of the
safety. Yes, you have cows running up and down, maybe just next to public road
or a school.
So there are public amenities that you should keep bees far away from. Playgrounds, maybe just next to the play field.
And so why should they keep away from it?
You know, when the bees come out of the hive, you have no control. You have no control. Maybe you're at work.
They will go where they want.
Yes. Kids are there playing.
And even if you are around, you cannot. Will you bring them back?
No, you can't control. But only if you saw them coming out. There is a time you'll see bees coming out. They are very agitated, and you'll know that comes with experience. So you'll go and maybe try to save the situation. Maybe they've been attacked. Yeah, maybe there's a wind that came and fell them.
So there is a way you can control your bees.
Yes.
It's not time to control you.
No, you work together. Okay. Because now, assuming I've found it down, and I lift it up and take it to the
original position,
it gets less irritated. But if it's just there down, the mites, the ants are just attacking them, and all they become very agitated. Anything passing by will be attacked. They don't know You're not the
They
person.
think that you're
Yes,
the enemy.
Yes.
Exactly.
So safety is the one, number one. Second, we look at the accessibility to water because about 70% of your honey comes from it's water.
Yeah.
They need a lot of water in terms of honey production and in terms of cooling the hive.
Their own hive.
Yes.
So the water that they take, it cools their hive.
It does.
Okay.
It does.
So let me ask, for people who are using it as not home consumptions but commercial, and maybe the farm is not near a water source, should they put some water source around, or?
Yeah. You okay. You put some containers within the compound
With water.
With water and put a floater on top because bees cannot swim.
Oh,
They don't swim.
okay.
You put
something
floater,
which
they can
will
come and patch, take water,
okay,
take to the beehive.
hives.
You find people saying that okay, shamba yangu iko mahali kuna mto. You go check the river, the speed at what that nini is moving, that water,
the bees cannot take water.
Yeah. So having a river next is an added advantage, but you also want to assist the bees. Can you have a container just maybe next? If you have taps dripping water, then that is advantage. If you're doing drip irrigation, that's an advantage. Although now, when it comes to commercial, there are measures that you need to take because of the chemicals.
Very serious,
yes, because of the chemicals you're using in your farm.
And do they take any water, maybe salty, and
they prefer salty? Yes,
they prefer salty.
Yes, because why are they taking water? And it's because these bees need different minerals. It's just like a human being.
Okay.
You need vitamins. You need calcium. You need carbohydrates. You need protein. Where does that come from? So at times you find maybe a patch in your cow shed where the bees are going to take cow dung. Okay. So why are they taking cow dung? There is a special mineral
which they are looking for.
They are looking for cow trough. Where the water is moldy, the bees prefer there. Why? Because they are special mineral they are looking at.
So there is a specific environment that it's very good for the bees.
It's the natural environment.
Okay.
Because like now we go to a forest, you find maybe a rock that has a kishimo. When it rains, the water stands.
Oh, the water stands.
Yes. That water is not fresh, but it's not fermented. So there's those are they called algae or what? They grow there.
They grow, yeah.
The chemicals that are coming from those algae, the bees prefer. But also fresh water they prefer. But we say put an experiment: salty water, sugar water,
and fresh water, plain water. I mean,
yes. Just look at your
which one will they consume more?
Yes. Sugar and salty water will have more preference than fresh,
than pure water.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because of they want to balance. These chemicals are also used as a preventive or like medicine into their hives when they get sick. Those are the chemicals, all the minerals they are using to fight any infection they have in the hive. So all those are found in the environment, but as a farmer, you have to provide.
Yeah,
you don't okay. Otherwise,
you don't just
what
leave
will
the
happen
bees to do their
if the farm is so dry out there, and you have water in your kitchen? Tomorrow morning, you open your doors, there are bees coming to forage.
Really?
Yes, they come. Even when you're taking tea, at times you'll see a bee because it's coming for that sugar.
For that sugar that you're taking.
Yes,
okay.
Or maybe water that you're taking.
Okay, now, just before even we continue, let's go for a short break and then we will be back. So our viewers, I hope you're getting something. Me, I'm getting so much informed here, by the way. I didn't know anything about bees. And you're having here a farmer who has done bees for some years, 7 or 6. Yeah. An expert. He knows a lot about bees. And you've shared your journey, which is very amazing. If you've not watched his journey, please just go and watch because it's very amazing. The way it has motivated me personally, and I know it will motivate you where you are as a farmer. So thank you so much for keeping in touch up to now. So we're going for a very short break and then we are coming back. See you after the break.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for still being in touch with us. Karibu sana. We are after the break, where before the break we've talked a lot about beekeeping. If you're a bee farmer, what have you taken? What is your challenge? Can you share with us on the comment section? We would like to answer your question. What is it that is challenging you? If you're somewhere, maybe you're doing maybe for only home consumption. What are your challenges? Do you want maybe somewhere where you can want a hookup on something that is very important? We would really love to help you with the challenges that you're facing. So here with us we have Peter, who has really explained a lot when it comes to bee farming and beekeeping, which was very amazing. By the way, Peter, thank you so much that you've explained a lot when it comes to bee farming. You get so we've talked about a lot. If you're having any question, kindly, me, I would like to help you. We would like to help you in one way or another with any challenge that you're facing. Or how are you keeping up with bee farming? Is it something that is giving you money? Is it something that is just there? Are you just the farmer who keeps the hive for 9 months and then you just go and harvest? How are you keeping in touch with your bees? Are you friends with your bees? That is all that you're talking about here. And we were talking about the factors to consider as a farmer so that you can keep your beehive wherever you're keeping it, or so that you can do your bee farming. Let's talk about the drainage of the place, because I know there is a lot to talk about there.
Yeah.
So can you maybe help us to understand more about the drainage?
So where you set up your hives, you need a place where it's very accessible. You don't want a place where it's flooding, because again, a lot of moisture for your bees, the moisture kills the bees.
Okay, the moisture. Let's clarify here. The moisture in the beehive
in the
or around
the environment.
Okay.
This is what you're talking. When it's let's assume it's a swampy area, and you just come and put your hive just next to the swamp. The amount of vapor coming into the hive,
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And if your hive has no ventilations, then that vapor is a threat to your bees.
Okay.
This is what happens. And that is why I talk of, you understand how bees survive. There is a certain temperature that is maintained inside a beehive,
which you should consider.
You should, for them to survive. You are talking of eggs. A bee comes from an egg. That egg has to attain a certain temperature for it to hatch. So what happens when the area is too hot or when the area is too cold?
Okay.
So when you're looking at the sites that you're putting your hive, those are the considerations you put. If the area is, let's say, too hot, you're overworking your bees to lower the temperature to the degrees that are required.
Okay.
When you're overworking your bees, what do?
What temperature are they required?
They're talking about 36, 37 degrees.
Really?
Yes, it's that hot.
So it does not need
more than that.
More than that or
No.
less
or
than
less.
that.
No. If it's less, talk about from 32 up to 38. You have that range. Too much of that, the brood would die.
Okay.
Too cold, the brood would die.
Okay.
The development of a brood, the hatching of that egg, needs a certain temperature.
Temperature for it to
How
hatch.
do bees attain that temperature? They fan their wings to generate that heat. If it's too hot, they come outside, fan their wings outside
Really?
the hive.
So they really know how to make their home comfortable.
Now, they do that.
That's amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
Now, you put them just next to the water. This vapor is coming too much to their hive.
Yeah.
There is no ventilation. They're trying to keep up the temperatures. You add the vapor plus the heat. What happens? You have the drops up there.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
The dew.
So the dew will start
coming down. If it touches your brood, that would start die. And it's not dying, it's like fermenting.
Or quasar,
exactly.
Getting spoiled.
Yes. So your bees will just disappear. If it's too hot and they are fanning their wings like this, where are they getting the energy from? From the harvest that could have come and harvest as honey, because they eat that honey.
So they will get tired.
They get tired. They get hungry. They get hungry and eat your honey. So these factors, when you're considering, you need a place where now, one, the hive is comfortable. It's the right environment for the bees to survive. We talk of you don't want them direct to the wind, direct to the rainfall. Those are the factors we're looking at.
When you're talking about direct to the wind, what do you mean?
The entrance of the hive should not face where the rain is coming from.
Why?
Because the water will come in. That water is not good for your brood.
Okay. The wind is coming. Yes. The wind is blowing.
You put it opposite. Yes. So that
the direction of the wind.
That wind is not coming direct
inside the hive.
Inside the hive.
Okay.
Because now it's a controlled environment. Too much of the wind will cool the hive more than the temperatures the bee require. So they will overwork to put that temperature up. It comes rain. The rain will come, the water will stand at the bottom board of your hive. That is like a fridge.
Yeah.
Any heat is absorbed by that water.
So the hive should be flat, or
yes.
How should it be?
It should be very flat. We say you can tilt at least 5 degrees.
To at least slant?
Yes, 5 degrees. So that any water that hits the bottom board will find itself drained from the backside. But again, help your bees. Work with your bees. Don't just face from the direction of the wind. Don't put them near a water body. If you understand the operations of the bee inside your hive, then those will be very, 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 very important factors to consider.
Okay, so I want you to just talk more about the drainage part of it. What about you have maybe an acre of land, you have your hives there, and then it has rained and it's muddy. You know, the shamba as always,
Yeah, it's a
it's
farm.
muddy,
Yes.
it's wet all over and all that. So how will you control that so that the hives will have the best temperature for it and still they won't die?
Okay, in some cases we say if your place is prone to
It's a bit
swampy, you can put a roof over your hive. Do a structure, put some hardcore with the floor of your structure, and then now put a stand where you put your hives. Yes.
Okay.
So when it rains, these hardcores will help you drain the water. A day or two of rainfall is not much for the bees. They take a hit, yes, but it's not as what do we call it? As dangerous as having them direct to a swampy place. So if the place you can do a drainage, then the better.
The better.
The matope part of it, then yoshi, you just put your gumboots.
Oh, so it won't affect the bees.
No.
Okay.
What you're talking about is the water that is collected when it rains.
And which weather does bees survive well? Is it rainy season or sunny season or winter or summer? Okay.
For
Let
our
me use
case,
that.
our temperatures are very good almost throughout the year. Even when it rains,
For
the temperatures,
beekeeping.
yes, for beekeeping, the temperatures do not drop to negatives.
Okay.
For the places where the bees are, where we have winter, the bees are affected because that is the moment you lose a lot of bees during the winter. Our temperatures are not that low, so even when it's raining, they'll find some time to go and forage out there. Maybe during the evening, maybe in the evening and morning hours. Then the bees will find a place to go and forage when the sun comes. But if it's a continuous one, then you have to intervene because they can't go to forage. They'll eat all their stores that they've stored inside the hive. They need to survive. If they finish their stores, what will happen? They will start to die.
Before we talk about the foliage, I want you to emphasize on something because you said when it rains, it's good if you at least have a structure for the bees. So, which environment would you recommend for a farmer to have? A structure for a bee for his bees or just a farm? Which one works better?
In my experience, the bees that are outside works
better than the ones in the structure.
A structure. And this is, when we are arguing maybe in a debate, you have to produce your factors.
Yeah.
Someone will come and say, no.
You need a shelter. The structure as the best and they produce
give me
the
reasons. I'll give you my reasons. We said this environment is more controlled. Our temperatures are a bit high.
Okay.
Put a roof on top. Our roofing is iron sheets.
Exactly. So it's again too hot for the bees.
What happens? Now, the hive itself has a roof. It has a roof.
Yeah, I guess.
It's an iron roof. You put another one.
Wait a minute. So the hives have an iron roof.
Yes.
Not wooden.
No, it's not wooden.
Really?
Yeah, the cover is iron. Iron roof, so that the water doesn't come in. Yeah. Okay. That is enough for the bees if your hive is tilted in some degrees, not too much, because you also don't want to interfere with the gravity. They build their comb using gravity. That is the only place now you attain a straight comb. You want to maintain that temperature. You put them there, they will survive, yes. Okay. But put one outside, put one in the shade. Compare the same environment and the harvest that you get.
It will be different.
It will be different. And those who have done that experiment will come back to me and say, yes, it's true. Those
because the ones in the shelter, in the structures, they have double heat.
Yes. And when it comes to getting cold, the one that is outside, even if the sun is very small, it will get more energy
than the one inside. Okay, quick question. The ones in the structure, do they have permission or freedom to move out of the structure? Or they are contained inside?
They are contained inside. This is the thing. We're not talking about the bees that are going out. We are talking about what is happening inside our beehive. Yeah? Inside our beehive is where we are raising brood.
So okay, I think you've not gotten my question. We're having a farmer who is having their bees
under the shade.
Yes. You get? Yes. They have their hives and then they build a structure which they've put their hives inside. Yeah. And then you have a farmer who has 1 acre and he has her bees all over outside. You get? So the ones inside the structure, do they have freedom to move out and go find nectars and all that? Or the farmer is the one to produce for them?
No, they have the freedom.
Oh, okay.
They have the freedom to go out. But now, why are we saying that they have different production? It's because we are raising brood. The brood that the bees are raising is our workers that are collecting forage. These, the one that is outside, if the environment is favorable, they will have more workers than the one that is under the shade.
Okay.
Because the one under the shade will eat 2 kgs of honey, for example, to keep it warm.
Exactly.
This will consume maybe 1 kg to keep it warm.
Exactly.
When it's too hot, this will just consume a kg to keep it cool, while this one will take 2. So those are the factors we talk about. Don't just look at it as if you're just putting a roof. Yes. There are some extents where we say it's good to have a shelter, especially when now we talk of safety. If your hives are not secure, and maybe your farm is not secure, it's okay to have a shelter where the bees can be locked in. Yeah.
Okay.
Restricted access to your hives. That is one of the reasons why a beekeeper would prefer to have a shelter. But can you compare in terms of production? Do you understand the environment that they are putting your bees into? Yes.
Okay, we've talked about foliage. I would like you to maybe explain more when it comes to foliage. How does it work when it comes to beekeeping or bee farming, and how is it important for a farmer to make sure that the bees have foliage?
One, bees are living insects.
Living insects?
Yes.
Okay.
So they need to feed. For them to feed, they need nectar.
You've reminded me of a question which our teacher used to ask us: are bees birds or are bees insects?
The insects.
which was a very hard question for us to answer. What is, because in a way they look like birds. Small birds, but again in another way they look like insects. Okay.
So they need to eat. Where are they getting their food from? It's from the environment. The best advantage for a farmer, when you're doing your crops, you don't have to struggle so much to sustain your bees.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the maize that you're farming, the fruits that you're growing, the flowers that are in your garden, they will help you the food for the bees. So in terms of forage, if you have your farming activities going on, then you have an easy way of starting your beekeeping. But again, you also have to understand the use of chemicals when it comes to the forage, because they also affect.
When you talk of chemicals, where specifically, on the crops or
on the crops? Because for a farmer, you'll wake up one morning that maybe a disease that has attacked your plants. You want to spray. Yeah.
Oh.
You want to put foliar on your flowers.
So it affects the bees.
It affects, because these chemicals, the bee doesn't know whether it has been sprayed or not. They know there's nectar there. That nectar is a poisonous chemical. It goes back to the brood. They share that food. It's a chain. Once they share, they start dying. So eventually you lose your bees, you lose your honey harvest.
So what should a farmer do? They have their own, they have a piece of land where they're doing crops, and another, or they are doing
the neighbors, yes.
And the neighbors have bees again. So will you restrict your bees not to go out? No. Or what will you do?
Those are now the challenges of beekeeping. You cannot restrict your bees to where they forage. But again, we should advocate for people to use bee-friendly chemicals in your farming. There are chemicals that don't kill bees. It's only that they're expensive We want farmers want some quick money. So if I get a chemical being sold 50 shillings, I'll buy 50
And there
shillings.
is no way, trust you me, there is no way I will go and buy
A
chemical that is bee friendly and I'm not the owner of the bees.
Exactly.
There is
So
no
it's
way.
It's a big challenge, especially for those people who are doing commercial farming. In terms of a beekeeper who has his apiary next to them. Because one day, like in coffee plantation, one day the coffee farmer wakes up, the flowers are there, they spray. Tomorrow morning, come at your hive, there are dead bees out there. We have undertakers inside the hive. So any dead bee is taken out. So you get a heap of dead bees. That is the way now you know your bees have been poisoned. How do they get poisoned? They went and foraged on a fruit
and you have no control of
you have
that.
no control of that, yes.
So that is a challenge that you cannot get.
We can't until now we get chemicals that are regulated, that are
and at
more,
a fair price.
Yes, and more bee friendly. Yeah. Otherwise, right now it's a free market.
What?
We still
so
have
that is a challenge that bee farmers go through, which cannot be controlled. Because if I am not a farmer for bee farming, trust me, I cannot. How can I go and buy maybe a chemical which is bee friendly just to favor you, and yet I'm being at risk because I'm getting more charged when it comes to the chemical buying.
True. That's the challenge, and the bees will die.
Wow.
And once they start dying, now there's no pollination. We talk of now there's
again
no
now
honey.
Starting from the beginning of searching for other ways how to bring the bees back and all that.
And in most cases, most of the keepers, because they were looking at maybe quick money, not as quick as maybe tomorrow, but at some point we are human, we lose hope. So you have 5 farmers who started by maybe 3 years, you only have one who's keeping bees. So our production of honey production goes down because you can only sustain a market if you have numbers.
Sure. So I would like you to help. Okay, I've remembered just a question when you were talking about that, which when you talked about your story, I didn't ask you. You said that when you began your journey with one hive, you didn't know how to bring the bees in the hive. And we've talked about a lot where I think we've not yet touched on that. How will you ensure that the hives are attractive to the bees are attractive to the hives? Am I saying the correct question?
Yes, it's the hive to attract the bees.
Oh, it's the hive to attract the bees. Yes. Okay.
And what people forget, bees are very smart. Bees are very smart. One, when they come to a hive, they want to feel secure to make it their home. Hata wewe ukitafuta nyumba utaenda
kutafuta the house which is very secure, which has the best security, water and all that.
The bees do the same. The scouting bees will come, measure your entrance, do their calculation.
Really?
Go inside.
Are you serious?
Yes. They measure the volume. Tutatoshea ma tutatoshea.
Yeah.
Then go back.
Inform the others.
Inform another one. Another one will come and confirm. They have to have the referees. Sio mimi nimekwambia ndio uchukue.
You go and now confirm what the other one said.
Yes. The measurements they do, and then they come to a conclusion. Yes, that hive is good for us.
Are you serious?
Yes,
they have.
Bees are
they act like government.
It's a government. That is why it's called a colony. A colony. Every person there has a duty. Guarding, foraging, nursing, all those. Yeah.
Okay.
So, one, your hive, for it to attract bees, can you make it? Can you make sure the bees will feel safe? That is one. The second one, does the entrance make the bees feel secure? Because you have an entrance this big, the bees cannot get this big.
How should the entrance be like?
A bit small. You just reduce your entrance.
Oh, when you talked about entrance, I thought that it should be a bit, no. Something like a cow window.
No. A very small entrance, because that is they when they are coming to your hive, they don't have the numbers.
Oh, they want a small one that so they can guide.
They can guide.
Okay.
We have 100, let's say 100 soldiers. Kuna wengine wako hapa ndani wanapewa kazi
ya kulinda the others.
Yes. And kuna mwenye watchman hapa kwa gate. So if I can guard the hive with 3 watchmen, I have another house that requires 10, I'll prefer the 3.
Yeah.
The same case to the bees. So when you're having a hive, one, it should meet those requirements. The second one, I see people making a mistake, and maybe it's because they don't know. We are talking of the volume. So you buy a hive. A hive comes with 2 boxes. Unfortunately, it didn't come with one. I should have demonstrated next time. Yeah. There's the lower box and the upper box. The broad box and the super, the honey super. So when you get your new hive, remove the super, put it aside. You are left with the broad box.
The broad box.
That is what you use to attract the bees.
Okay.
Small volume, safe for the bees. Too big volume, the bees will pass by. You understand?
Are you serious?
It happens.
So,
and if I
so
tell
for
you,
a farmer, okay, let's go slowly. For a farmer who maybe wants to do this, so you're going to buy a hive with 2 boxes.
Yes.
Now we continue.
You
go slowly.
Yes. Hii moja ya asali tunaita honey super.
You put it aside.
Store.
Okay.
Yeah. The cover fits both the box and the brood. Funika hii imebaki.
Okay.
Put it to your farm. The box has wax that attracts the bees.
Which you bought.
Yeah, with. And if
with
it doesn't, if it doesn't, you can buy wax, the bee wax, melt and apply to your hive.
To your hive.
Yes, that is one. Or maybe use other attractants, like maybe we have African mint in Kikuyu. I can say in our Kikuyu language we call it makuri.
Okay.
In Kikamba I can't remember the name. I think it's mota. So there are those plants that attract the bees,
which you should have put in the hive.
Yeah, not all. You pick one that is accessible to you.
Okay.
I'm giving a different
example.
This box, what you've done, you've given them a space they'll feel safe. They'll also look at their numbers and feel, okay, this space we've been given is good for us. We'll be able to keep warm. Yeah, there the bees will come.
Okay.
If you have the both boxes and the colony is small, they can't even keep it warm.
Oh, they will look at it as too big.
Yeah, umepewa hii ghorofa yote na uko peke yako.
Okay, so you
and you know they clean. They are cleaners inside there, so they keep it very neat.
So even the cleaners think this house is too big for us to clean.
They look at the volume.
This house is too big for us to clean.
Yes, and to keep warm and to guard it all that. They pass and go to the neighbors.
Okay.
Maybe go to a tree. Yeah. So those are the factors you look at for your boxes. Hiyo mzinga kama iko na a lot of cracks. It's also a disadvantage for you to catch a swarm. Because
you said cracks and I've remembered something. For some reasons, I got a chance to tembea in Ukambani, where I saw maybe farmers doing the bee farming, which was not by the way a big farm, but the hive itself, it had that the space, but you couldn't differentiate between that space and the cracks that are in the hive. So even when you remembered when you talked about the space, the entrance, and I was like, I thought that it is like a window which you open like this and then you close, because the hive was so destroyed.
Yes. And maybe the way the carpenter made it.
Yeah.
And I will tell you why you don't need those entrances. We've talked about the temperatures. That is one point. People should understand that. The second one, we take an example of human beings. Mimi nikiona uko na gari nitasikia wivu.
Exactly.
Ukiwa na pesa hapo nitasikia wivu. So we have 2 hives here. I don't have honey and you have honey. We all need that honey.
Yeah.
So you're guarding this entrance here. For me, I'll pass by the cracks I can see there.
Exactly.
So every day your bees are fighting. We call them robbers. Ni wakora. Wanaibiana asari.
Wait a minute. I want you to explain this. Okay, I have a lot of questions. Because I'm one of the person that don't know anything about it. So when you talk about colony, you mean that if I'm a bee and I belong to this colony, I should not go to another colony. Yes. That is what you mean.
Yes. In most cases.
So if you come to another colony, you're a thief.
Yes.
They will fight.
Yes.
Okay.
But there is an exemption. Assuming this was my beehive, Mechomeka. I don't have a home. na kuna beehive hapa.
Beehive.
Yes.
So you
and an existing colony. Let's call them colonies,
Yeah.
because a beehive doesn't make sense if it doesn't have a hive.
A colony.
The forages from this hive can go collect nectar and come to the door with nectar to this colony.
Okay.
If they're coming with food, they're not. They don't fight. If you come empty-handed, ndio sasa mnapigana.
Okay.
So when they are robbing, of course you're robbing because you don't have. So they are coming empty-handed to take honey,
something that you've already created.
Yes.
You've already made.
Yes. So inakuwa ni vita. What does that translate to you as a beekeeper? You cannot pass by that environment without being attacked. Why? Because your bees are always in a fighting mode. Yeah.
So they think that you're one of the enemies.
Yes. Anybody passing by, attack.
You're one of the enemies.
Yes. Yeah. They are used to fighting.
Yeah.
So equipment should be very standard. Unnecessary entrances are not needed for the bees.
Okay.
Give them a place they can guard. Your bees will do you good. They'll give you production you won't even understand.
And when you said about ventilation, maybe someone is doing beekeeping and he thinks that getting that cracked or with space is ventilation. What do you mean by ventilation when you say about beekeeping?
Kwa hii kifuniko, there should be just like a straight opening. And in most cases, you're buying those hives with that entrance. What the bees do, they are smart, as we said. Any bigger entrance, let's call it entrance, opening, they seal. They seal. Okay. If it's too much wind coming in, even in from your entrance, they'll seal it. Now, when they are sealing, what is happening? That is what people should understand. I've given a box, a crony, a well-made beehive. The next one, I've given it with a lot of openings. They'll start sealing these openings. So what are they doing? They are consuming the honey to overwork, to seal your box, to make it secure. What will happen to your harvest? You have no harvest because all the honey has gone to fixing your boxes. Yeah. So they call it, and that is what people overlook. They just say it's a cheap box. Can we buy it?
Yeah, can you just buy it?
Yes, go buy.
They don't think of
the harvest, the repercussions of having such a box. 2-year harvest that you're looking at, because once you are buying that hive, you want production. Give them the best environment. This box, very secure. They build very fast because one, it's not losing heat.
And then they're not stressed.
Yes, they're not
creating a good environment. You've already created it for them.
So the expansion of the brood will be very fast. Put a super on. They are very healthy. They build it too fast.
Yeah.
The more numbers you have, the more workers you have to bring you honey. Yeah.
Okay.
20 kgs in a minute. At times you find that even that honey that is coming from the field, your bees are not enough to take care of that. So do you have the numbers? And the numbers can only be attained by having the best environment for your bees. Okay. So it's not just a beehive. People don't understand.
It's not just a beehive.
No.
Okay. So we've talked about drainage part of it, which you really explained it well, that you should avoid the swampy areas and all that. Yeah. And again, there is availability of water. How does those two come in hand? We avoid drainage and they need water.
Water, it's not like you want a pan of water for your bees to survive. Just a small amount, maybe a plate outside there, maybe even 2 kgs of water, they can't finish in a day. It's too much.
It's enough.
Yes. Okay. It's too much. Yeah, it's not like you want a pan of water. Yeah. Yeah. It's just something manageable. Yeah.
When you talk about safety of the beehives, what do you mean?
Safety of the beehives, one is from human interactions. Thieves. Any pesa umeweka hapa.
Wait a minute. So there are people who steal.
Yes.
Is it honey or the beehive?
The beehive plus honey. Because some, they go make illicit.
But they come ready, guarded.
Yeah.
With the equipment and all that.
You come with chemicals and
again, bees don't scream, so you won't.
Yes, you won't know.
You won't know.
And then they steal the wax, they go they make their rocket.
Yeah, I saw a post on Facebook that wax is very expensive.
No, wax a kg is 1,000 bob.
What?
Hii rasta mnatengenezanga na hii mafuta mnajipaka comes from wax.
Comes from what? Yes. From the bees.
Natural. If you get natural, wax comes from bees and it comes from paraffin. Okay. The petroleum.
I totally know. Yeah.
So the natural one, when it comes to beauty products, is more variable. It's coming from the bees. Okay. Even for your skin, soaps, lipsticks, it's lip balms.
So it's very important.
It's very important. The bees are not going to sell that. Yeah, they are going to make brew. Pombe ya kienyeji. That is mostly the places where beehives are being stored. They are going to steal to make that. They're not stealing them to go and keep bees. No. So
they are stealing so that they can go and do something with it or sell it so that they can.
No, they're not selling. They are taking the combs, the brood. The brood is what they use to make brew. Okay. The kienyeji brew.
Okay.
Yeah? So those are the ones who are stealing your hives. Okay. So it's just destruction. One, it's human. Second, animals. Animals grazing. So you need a fence. You don't want a cow coming knocking down your hive. That is the safety you're talking about. Is that right? Again, you don't want a place where now every now and then there is floods, or maybe what do hizi zingine promote wa ardhi.
Earthquake.
Not earthquakes, but ile mchanga inaanguka. Yeah, such. So those are the things you're looking at
when it comes to safety. Okay.
And where the safety of your hives. Yes. So those are the things you're looking at.
Okay. Yeah. This is very interesting. The way that's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's elimuni. What unasemanga elimuni nini?
Ningawa ama nini?
Something like that. But this is very interesting. Viewers, I don't know if you're getting this, but this is something. You know, for someone who totally didn't know about bees. Yeah. At least someone who thought, okay, what can I venture in when it comes to agriculture? Bees is something which is very interesting. And I feel like it's a bit, okay, even if you need money and all that, but it has a lot of freedom more than even other farming.
No, the best part, you cannot compare beekeeping and, let's say, dairy cows.
Yeah.
For me, exactly. I have cows.
You would prefer? Which one?
No, beekeeping, of course. One, I have to milk my cow every morning.
Every morning.
I have to feed that every morning and evening. I have to feed it morning and evening.
Yeah.
I have to, yani.
There is a lot. Every day. It needs your energy. Yes. It needs your attention. For and all that. Beekeeping,
it's more relaxed. Give them the best environment. They go look for their own food. Your thing is make sure your hive is the best good, environment. Yes, that is all the beekeeper is required to do. There is food in the environment. There is water for them. There are no attacks from the hive. Your bees are safe. Then the next thing they are going to make for you is honey, because we said this is their food. So if they are secure, they'll have stores. Those are the stores you're coming to harvest and sell it as honey. Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about factors to consider. So to consider for a farmer when they want to do the bee farming, or to have the beehives and all that, which we've talked a lot. Hey, you know, me I feel like, you know, unaona zile lessons unaingia and you're like, wait, was that teacher sent by God? Yeah, we can't finish. It has a lot, which is very interesting, if you're there and you've not yet watched this is amazing. Kindly watch it bit by bit, because you will need a pen, you will need a notebook to note down how to keep bees. What is the environment they need? Do they need water? Do they need more supplements when it comes to food and all that? You know, we have discussed a lot, which is very interesting. So I would like us to go for a short break where we will come back and talk about requirements for a beginner. Maybe someone who would like to start as a bee farmer. What do they need? What are we've already talked about the factors that they should consider for the environment and all that. So what are the requirements? Is it the water that you're talking about? Should they be near what? Should they be far from what? You get? So those are the requirements that we come to talk about when it comes to requirements for a beginner who would like to start bee farming. Okay, before we go for a break, I would like to inform you about ATLS, which is Affordable Transport and Logistics, which helps, which is funded by UK Tech Hub and UK Aid, which helps farmers with transportation. A lot of farmers are complaining transportation first fuel is high. We have legal barriers, we have taxes, which are excess taxes on the roads, which is very frustrating when it comes to transportation. So ATLS helps a lot when it comes to that. Thank you so much. Let's go for a short break. Karibuni sana. Welcome so much back to the show. This show is amazing. If you guys you're watching, I know this show is amazing. It's impacting a lot of knowledge to my brains, to everything, to a farmer out there. This is so helpful. Thank you, Peter, again and again. I don't know how much I should thank you because you're having a lot of knowledge when it comes to bee farming, which is very important for all farmers who are beginners when it comes to bee farming, and even the ones who are already the gurus when it comes to bee farming. They still need the knowledge.
You
So
cannot exhaust the knowledge.
yeah, you cannot
Learning
exhaust the
is
knowledge.
every day.
Exactly. So we've talked about the factors to consider when you want to do bee farming as a farmer already, and even as you want to venture into bee farming. So right now we are back on the show. We want to talk about the requirements for a beginner. What am I required to have, or what am I required to do before even I think of having bees, before even I think of buying the hive and all that? What am I required, or even in the process of buying it? Is it on the is should it be on the list of buying? What is the goal? What is the first thing when it comes to the requirements that a farmer should have?
Okay, what we say is
Mhm.
beekeeping is expensive.
Really,
It is.
I
You
thought it
can't.
was just something
No.
something to relax
Actually,
on.
we say it's an expensive hobby
Uh-huh.
because once you get into it,
Uh-huh.
You come together, is I need this, I need that, I need that. So you're buying equipments every now and then, especially when you're expanding your operations. But for a beginner, you need the funds. You need the funds to buy the equipments. The
So
disadvantage.
you need the beginning capital.
Yes, the beginning.
Like any other business.
Yes, you need to buy the hive. You need to make the stands. You need to fence. All that require resources.
When we talk about fencing, are we talking about the one in the structure or even the one in the farm?
No, in the farm, just like a fence, just to restrict maybe animals
to walk in and all that. Okay, okay.
Or maybe just anyone drunkard coming
into it. Yeah.
So you need that fence. Those are the resources we are talking about. So it discourages most of the people to get into beekeeping because you look at, you're being told maybe you need 20, 30,000 just to begin. It hasn't given you the amount. So that is one. The second one, you need a place to put your bees.
Before we go there, we've talked about funds. I would like you to emphasize more on funds. A bee farmer is out there. Maybe he wants to do the commercial part of it. And commercial means commercial. He wants to come into it with a lot of capital, a lot of all that. Do bee farmers maybe get support like any other farmer when it comes to funds? You hear some circles and all that who give funds.
The interesting
part. Do bee farmers get that too?
They do. But this is the approach. You walk into any institution. As an individual, you won't get funds. As compared to a group. So we say, can you form a group as beginners?
Of bee farmers.
Or maybe farming as a farming group. Don't just say.
It can be classified
this farming,
other crops and all that.
Yes. Okay. Because today you want to keep bees, tomorrow you want tomatoes, so then the other day you want hohos. It's agriculture under one umbrella. So such a group, you go to a circle, maybe to the government, the youth fund and women funds. They'll give as a group. As an individual, yes, you can access the loans, but the process the requirements are much higher than as a group.
As a group, yeah.
So if you form a group as keepers, then you can access the funds. The only disadvantage, you have 10 members, maybe you've been given 10 hives, but do you keep them? Yeah.
Okay.
In most cases, you find that that 10 hives is given to you.
To one person.
One person.
And
then
you are 10 members.
Yes, and then the rest have gone to do other business. You're left there feeling that you are carrying the burden of these people.
Okay, wait a minute. So when it comes to funds, some people, some funds are coming as
the funds will come as a group. The funds will come.
Will it come as money?
Yeah, it's money. Because you go to youth fund, you're given money. You go to your circle, you're given money. You save as a group, you buy the equipment as a group. But now you find that maybe you can only access maybe 20 hives as a starter group. Then where do you keep them? Do you want every person to go with 2 hives?
With 2 hives.
It doesn't make sense. You put them in a central location.
So one person will be left with all the responsibilities.
Yes. So eventually such groups
and when it comes
succeed.
to harvest,
yes,
all of them are there.
They want. And if I want harvest, I'm calling you every now and then. Hey,
I helped you.
Yes.
With the group, with the funds.
So that is a disadvantage. Yeah. But again, for you to access such funds, you can form such groups. But if you have the same interest, I keep bees in your farm. I make a point of coming to inspect. If we are called for a meeting, we are all available, then that group will succeed.
Exactly.
Yeah. Have the same goal.
So, question to you. If you would have access of fund when you are beginning as one with one beehive, where would you be?
Maybe not as far.
Have you ever thought of that?
Yeah, I do. Because you look at it this way. That one hive, sorry to say, I killed it so many times.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just one hive. You have been given 100, you burn 100, and this is money you want to recover.
Exactly.
So you're left with a lot of debt.
to pay
because of your mistakes. Yeah.
You are just starting. You don't have a lot of knowledge, so
exactly.
it's good to start with
So,
what you have.
For beekeepers, we say start slow. Start with what you can afford. 10 hives, it's a good start. 20 hives, it's a good start. Yeah. Take the lessons. Go for lessons. Go for trainings. Then you make less mistakes. 1 year, you're starting to harvest. Yeah. Otherwise, if you don't understand the skills, in 1 year, you still have empty beehives. Yeah. And you've already invested the amount to buy hives. And maybe build a structure, buy equipment. So you find that it's just money sitting there without any future of recovering that amount.
First, if you've been given maybe 100 hives and you've never had that experience,
exactly,
you'll make a lot of mistakes. A lot. And then and yet that money was for debt.
You have to pay. So the thing is, start slow. As a group, the best thing with a group, you exchange ideas.
Exactly.
So if I'm not available today, tomorrow there's someone else
who is available.
Who is available. You'll be able to help each other grow the group. So have the same interest. Once you access the funds, start with an amount that, one, it will be easy for the group to pay. The beehives will be manageable for the group as you train, because there's no point of having 100 hives that you can't manage. You can't even harvest. Again, it's a waste.
Okay. Does the government play a role when it comes to bee farming? Let's not talk about agriculture in general, just bee farming.
They do. We have extension officers in the counties.
Okay.
That if you are a beginner, you walked into their office, they'll give you this information. But how many people know? Yeah.
I didn't know too. In all counties?
Most. Okay, I can't say all, I haven't gone to all, but in most cases. Yeah, okay. The government structures are almost all in all the counties. The thing is, beekeeping hasn't gotten the area that is required. The information is not out there. You can't get this information. Maybe there are those who don't have access to maybe TV, phones, but they can walk into a library and take a book, or a magazine. Exactly. You'll find very few that you walk in, take a book, read about beekeeping, unless it's an agricultural book. So the attention that is required to grow the sector is a work in progress.
And again, do you think the people who have knowledge for beekeeping, they are somehow not active enough to do the trainings for others, or what can you say?
Naweza sema ni maisha. Manake, I'm going to be keeping because, one, I want to survive. Yeah. So I find that all my energy is directed to production.
Yeah.
The same case to the next beekeeper. There are those who their energy is directed to trainings.
Yeah.
So as I said, the only thing is the publicity of beekeeping is not as much as other sectors. Exactly. Yeah. But there are guys there. There are some. Their task is trainings. There are some. Their task is production. But they are all beekeepers. Yeah.
We've talked about circles which can help bee farmers to get the funds. How about the government?
Even the government. Women fund, youth fund, special groups. This is disabled.
And again, you will find many people complaining.
Exactly.
These funds are not working.
I wish I was a youth. I wish I was a youth. Because you form a group of 10 people. You form a group, go to the social services, register your group, then make an application for such a project. Not necessarily beekeeping, any agriculture, poultry farming, maybe horticulture.
As long as you have the land and space.
Yes, and you have to even show the officials that
you have a space for that. Yeah.
Yes, you're not just taking the money to eat. Yeah. If you qualify, they have to come and access. If you qualify, then you're given the funds. But now, again, the youth, how many will apply that? Wanaona ni kazi mingi sana kwa mtu amekutuma kwa chief.
They first complain. Yes. Government does not do its own job. But you as a person, you've not ujajituma.
Yeah. The NGOs that do donation to the groups. So
mainly for agriculture.
Yes, donations comes. It's for you to apply.
Okay.
So I go to a group, an NGO. I say I'm doing bee farming.
Yeah.
If my proposal is tight enough to show them, yes, you're giving me this money and it makes sense, I'll get the money. You go to the government, apply for funds. Your proposal is tight enough, you get the funds. Go to a bank. Your proposal is tight enough, they'll give you funds. So again, it's a skill people need to learn. Maybe proposal writing, or you hire someone to do the proposal, educate people on how to access such funds, then have an interest in whatever you're doing, because giving funds is one thing, maintaining that group and maintaining the project, because we are talking about, let's say, 6 months without any harvest from the hives. Yeah, already hii pesa umepewa, maybe grace period in 3 months,
and those 6 sometimes it might grow
to 1 year. Yes. So kama mnakufa moyo haraka, then the beekeeping, it won't work. So most of the groups, you find that yes, they were given hives, at times even 100 beehives, but they are all in the stalls. Yeah, what will everybody went to survive.
So if have you ever found yourself in a situation where farmers want to have a group with you, and you're in the place of, and you're in the thought of, should I or should I not? Because these people, are they reliable, or what are the qualities of people that a farmer should look up to when it comes to finding a group to get the funds from?
Okay, for me, I have not been to those groups, but I've helped a few create the groups. One of the requirements of the groups, in most cases, try to have people from the same region you come from, because you don't need to be traveling. We call a meeting, you're traveling from Nairobi to Murang'a, to Nyahururu, yes.
Nakuru,
Again, ndio mjuane, you need to be the same locality.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you're building those groups, easy access. It's easy access. So when you're forming those groups, that is one of the requirements. From your locality, get people who have the same interest. Group za wamama zinapewa grants mingi. Kwa nini? Because for them, they group themselves. Kila mtu anajua nyumba ya mwenzake. If this person doesn't pay, they know where to get him. Yes. Yeah. So if the youth or any beekeeper, it's not only the youth. Mkiform a group, you'll be given a loan. Hata kama sio kwa section ya loans, ya youth. It's only that the limits are different. You form a group, go to social services. Okay. The security in most cases ni mnajuana as a group, mnajuana. So mnaanza kulipa your loan, you start your project, but have the same interest. Usikiange ni mzigo yako, these hives that you left to so and so, can we go check? Can we go check? Are they ready for harvest? Yeah. What are the challenges that he is going through, and all that? Yes. Exactly. Usiachie mtu mzigo. What other requirements does a beginner who wants to do bee farming need? Apart from funds, we talked of a place to keep the bees. That is an apiary. You need the protective clothes for your safety, which they will use for harvesting and even cleaning the apiary. Not necessarily opening, but assuming the grass have overgrown and you want to cut. At times you'll have to use your protective clothes, and a branch has fallen over your roof. What you will use? The protective. Are they cost effective? Okay. They are very let me say affordable. The bee suits are affordable, and again I tell people this: when you're wearing that suit, it means a lot. It's ni kama unacheza na kifo. Yeah. That is what is stopping you from being stung. Yes. And you can only take so much stings. Tunakupeleka usi. At times hatawezi fika. You get a heart attack. Die. So I saw a post on Facebook. There was a lady who posted a post showing, okay, she has been a farmer for a while, but again, with even the protective clothes, I don't know what happened, but she got stung. Yeah. On her mouth. How are those incidents? How can it happen? Zingine inakuja na experience. Unajua, this bee suit is not 100% tight. again, at times you find that the people who are selling you bee suits are not, they are tailors, they're not beekeepers.
Yeah.
So they don't know what happens when you go and open a hive full of bees. Where do the bees access?
Yeah.
In most cases, utapata, they access through here. The zip that are being put are not tight enough.
Are not tight enough.
Yes. So you put a tape. So if you don't know
Really?
that, you won't. If nini yako inakuguza, the veil touches your forehead, you know you get stung, because the veil is the one that helps you to see, but the holes are wide enough for the bee to sting, so you need a cap.
Okay.
Ndio hiyo veil, hata when you're bedding and
It
waking,
won't touch
it
your
won't
face.
touch your face.
Okay.
That comes with experience. But again, if you went for training when you're starting, all those things should be trained.
How about a farmer who is just using
Exactly.
online
Now,
as you did?
online, some of these things you miss them because not every experience is documented. So again, that's where no experience comes in. It's the best teacher. Unajua ukivaa gloves vibaya, the bees will come in through the gloves and start stinging your wrist.
There is something that I would like you to maybe share. We started your story. We reached in the middle. Now we want to finish it, which was very interesting. As we finish this show, I would like you now, let's finish the story. We moved from at the river. We are going to Sagana with hives. We are going to now to start bee farm afresh in Sagana. How did you know the market? How did you know how to harvest? How did all that come together?
I say the best marketing strategy that we have and we don't take advantage of is the word of mouth.
Okay.
Word of mouth.
I was expecting you to say online.
No. Because by the time I'm going online, my neighbor,
your neighbor should know what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay.
So it starts there. My friends, they know, Maina is keeping bees. So Maina, can you
I
give
have
us
some honey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Before you know it, the church members
have already started. Yeah.
The chama members. It goes like that. Word of mouth. But how do you maintain such a market? By having quality products. Yeah. We'll talk about harvesting and all that. How to make sure you have.
But not on this show.
Not
Maybe
on
the time
this show.
was ready.
Next
Yeah.
show,
The
yes.
next show we
Yes.
will be having.
But your product, word of mouth. That is where I began.
Is that how you began?
Yes,
your
for
journey?
my market. From even before I marketed my honey online, I was selling to friends. The friends were selling me to their friends. So before you know, I've gotten a call. I've been given your number by so and so. I want honey.
I would like to know, how did you know how to harvest? Being your first time.
Online.
Really?
Online.
You didn't fear or
No.
called a friend or something?
The best thing, if you're interested in knowing something, whether it's a video you're shown or you are seeing it practically, there is no big difference. The only big difference is that now this is real. This is this is real. You're seeing the bees. But if I've seen it online, I'll do the same.
Yeah.
The first harvest I didn't use any machinery for extracting the honey. I just did the kenyaji way. You cut the combs, sieve them, and put into containers. Simple as that. But as you progress, you see now
because some honey you find
particles.
The particles.
Yeah.
Because people don't have the. Is it because people don't have the knowledge, or consumers want honey which look? Because let me give you a story. I once went to a supermarket with my friends, and we were going to buy honey. You see, when you just do your shopping and you're like, oh, I don't have honey. Let me go and buy. So one of us was like, I always take honey that has some particles because it's the original one. And for me, I was like, why do you have to do that? Because these people, they've not processed it well.
Yeah.
This one which is clean is the one which is original. Why do you have to take something that has particles so that you know that is original? So how was your first experience with that?
Okay, for me, if I'm going to sell something, I want to sell something that I can consume.
Yes, exactly.
So I had invested in a sieve. A sieve would help you
at
with
least
all that.
to
Sieve all that.
Exactly.
But hygiene is one of it. You have to invest in hygiene. There are different sieves that are out there. Some with not meant for honey. A honey sieve has what we call it's a double sieve. receives wax first and some pollen.
Mhm.
So you get the liquid
Mhm.
with less impurities as possible. So if you don't have access to that, you still get the particles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. This is so awesome. This is a very nice information. Tukisema tutaendelea, we will take the whole day, which we will still need you for more shows. Viewers, we will be having him for more shows when it comes to bee farming, because we've not done a lot, and we're still having a lot to learn from you. A lot, baby, a lot. Because we've not talked a lot about the concept, the consumption part of it, as we've said, harvesting and processing and marketing and all that. So we still have a lot when it comes to bee farming. Just keep in touch when it comes to our shows, because we have very good shows coming in line for bee farming, for any crop, for agriculture. Just keep in touch with us. So thank you so much for our viewers. For those who still have questions about bee farming, you can still leave them on our comment section. We will still reach out to you, and even before the show comes for the bee farming, we will tell you when and how, and what questions do you need to prepare for the show, so that we get ready for the show, because this is interesting. Personally, I've never thought of bee farming as a business, but now it's coming so clear, yeah, that it can be a business, which someone can quit his job like you did, and do bee farming as a full time. Very interesting. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being with us. And Peter, thank you so much for coming to the show. We've really enjoyed. I hope you too, the information was good to you too, because I had a statement someone was saying, when you give information, you're not only giving people, but even you're learning. So thank you so much. Let's meet tomorrow for another show.
Thank you.